Oh, this is Mr. Hornsby 83 with a Mr. Hornsby 83 review. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the other three Superman movies. Yes, there was three more. Um, which was Superman Returns, Man of Steel, and the John Schnepp's documentary, The Death of Superman, Superman Lives. I'll talk about that at the end. I'll talk about that last. I'm going to talk about these two first. Superman Returns. Oh, God. This was supposed to be the fifth one in the sequel. We get Superman coming back to Earth, and going and talking to his mom. His mom was wondering where he was from, which is kind of weird. If this is the fifth Superman movie, I could have sworn Superman 3, they said that, his mother passed away and he hadn't been back to Smallville since her funeral. But I guess that was wrong. Because he was talking to his mom in the freaking movie. Then we get the introduction of Lex Luthor showing some, I guess, old lady the wonders or pleasures she never felt before. I don't know. It was freaking weird. It was a weird thing. She died. I don't know. But, Kevin Spacey finally got to play Lex Luthor because, like I said, I'll talk about that when I get to the Superman movie, Superman Lives. So, then we introduced the rest of the characters, Lois Lane, Superboy, Cyclops, who jumped from one movie to, another comic book movie. Probably why Cyclops got killed off in X-Men Last Stand, because he was getting punished for freaking going and doing Superman Returns. Anyway, it goes. Neither movie really did well in the box office. Neither movie was greatly reviewed. It's just, then Lois Lane now doing stories on the world doesn't need Superman no more, and then apparently Clark pops up. It's kind of odd. Oh, supposedly 5 years or I don't know how long it was based from Superman 4, but Superman had been gone for a while, so was Clark Kent, and no one put two and two together, It's just like, wow. The insulting of humans is just unreal. People would be too stupid to notice Clark Kent, disappearing the same time Superman did. Pretty much, the movie just, it was a terrible movie. This one and freaking Superman 3 are my least favorite Superman movies. It gets to a point where Lex Luthor creates this big old island, and then he's got kryptonite, and he's freaking stabbed. I will say one thing, though. I took, Kevin Spacey. One good thing Singer did, I took Kevin Spacey more serious as Lex Luthor than I did Gene Hackman, because Gene Hackman was pretty much, I guess you'd say, comedy relief, basically, as the villain. And, that's something Bryan Singer did good with, he was more of the Lex Luthor from the comics, and, he was bald half the movie, he didn't wear a wig or anything like that, like the Lex Luthor from the original movies. And he was pure evil in this movie, I'll give him that. I mean, he freaking straight up stabbed Superman in the, back with a piece of kryptonite to try to kill him. And then broke it off so that he could keep the rest in case Superman somehow survived. Oh, by the way, he did. But, he took, Lois Lane and her boy captive, and took her husband, who was played by James Marsden, who played Cyclops in the X-Men movies, and up to that point, James Marsden didn't like Superman because he knew about Lois's crush on Superman, and all the other things Superman and Lois Lane did together. I don't know if he knew about, the child, but he probably did. That's probably another reason why he hated Superman, but overall, I'll give the movie credit. It was alright. I just didn't feel it the way I liked the original movies. And, it pretty much ends with, Lois revealing, oh, this is your kid, this is Superboy. Superman nearly dies, and Superman comes out talking to him. By the way, Christopher Reeve was replaced with Brandon Routh, because I think Christopher Reeve, one, was paralyzed, and I think he had passed away by the time Superman Returns came out. Not sure. He might have still been alive, but he was paralyzed, so he wouldn't have been able to play Superman anyway. I mean, they had a completely different cast anyway for the Superman Returns anyway. But yeah, it was alright movie. I just didn't care for it. I thought it was... That and 3, I just didn't care very much. Next up is Man of Steel, and this movie took away from another Superman movie, which I'll get to after this Superman movie. But, it starts out on Krypton, you got Zod, and, a lot of people critically panned this movie, fans, critics and all that. I thought it was pretty good. I did not have no problem with Man of Steel. I liked the movie. The one problem I did have was at the end of what happened, and plus the destruction that Superman caused. But I'll talk more about that in a sec. So it starts out, they're on Krypton. Apparently Superman's the first natural birth on Krypton in ages or whatnot. And Zod was being, Zod and doing evil things, and then he finally gets caught. And then they judge him, and, they get put in the Phantom Zone. I guess the Phantom Zone. I don't know what the heck it was. They didn't really explain the way they basically got out of the Phantom Zone this time. Like they did in Superman 2. But, and they send Superman to Earth. Zod tries to stop him, and it turns out Zod this time kills Superman's dad. Kills Jor-El. And, because, in the original, he just judged them, they got put in the Phantom Zone, but, Zod and them attack, kill them, try to find the Kotex, which, Jor-El put with Superman. Then, Superman goes to Earth, Jor-El's dead, Zod and his crew get imprisoned, and Krypton gets destroyed. Then we get to, majority of the movie was pretty much flashbacks of, pretty much what Superman did when he first came to Earth, this and that, what happened to his father, how he died, But see, in Superman 1, I believe his dad died of a heart attack. This one, he gets killed in a tornado because he's like, no, you don't reveal yourself, right now, I think you're going to do good things. I think you're meant to do something special, but not, save my life from this tornado. So basically loses both father figures. Then the CIA or whatnot find a ship, I guess it's a ship Superman came in on, and the Kotex is in there, and Superman, goes and investigates it, where he meets Lois Lane, and saves her life because she nearly got killed by like a droid in there or something like that. And after that, Lois Lane pretty much was looking for Superman, wanting to find out where he was, and trying to figure out who he was. And she goes to Smallville, starts asking around, and she finally finds out who he is, and he's telling her, well, the world's not ready for me. I don't want people to, my father believed that was something special, this and that, bunch of pretty much just stuff to try to further the storyline and that, At least, and another thing too, I know a lot of people were probably like, oh, the Lois Lane not knowing who Superman was, that, was a stupid thing. I honestly did not like the fact that they made Lois Lane find out who Superman was, because, I don't think she found out till probably later on in the comics who Superman was in the first place. But, it was pretty much, good action. Then, Zod and them show up, and they're saying, you are not alone. You have one of our kind on your planet for years, posing as one of you. We want to know we want to find him, because, he needs to come back to us, this and that. And, I gotta say, I like Michael Shannon playing Zod. I think he played him a little better than the guy that played Zod in Superman 2. But, you know, I mean, pretty much, his plan was a lot different than the Zod from Superman 2. He wanted to destroy the Earth and recreate it in his image. Other Zod wanted to rule the Earth and kill everybody who opposed him. You know. So we finally get to the point where Superman, you know, gets it, you know, finally just becomes Superman, starts saving people, goes to Metropolis as Clark Kent. Or no, I think they waited until the end to do that. So scratch that last part till later on in the movie. But he becomes Superman. He saves people. He's in Metropolis, and then, you know, then Zod and them are attacking the Earth, attacking, you know, Smallville, attacking Metropolis, and, you know, it leads to a big old battle. And, you know, Superman, golly, that was a lot of destruction in that battle. I mean, it was an epic battle, but a lot of destruction of the planet. And, you know, Superman is one who always held back so that he wouldn't destroy too much of the planet, you know, things on the planet. But I guess you could play it off as, oh, he was a rookie at this time when he fought Zod. He didn't understand, you know, how these places are important to the world, and you destroying them ain't helping things. But pretty much it ends with Zod saying, well, you know what, if you value these humans, I'm gonna kill some. And he like shoots his laser beams and just keep slowly twisting around Superman's game like this. He's like, no, stop, no, stop. And he snaps his neck eventually, which, you know, I didn't like this. I like the way he beat Zod and them in the original Superman. I mean, either way you look at it, he still freaking killed him. But, snaps Zod's neck, and then, you know, slams his fist down into the ground, yelling, screaming, and then Lois Lane comes up, played by Amy Adams, I think that's her name, and lays her head on his boobs, and, you know, calms down. I don't know how it's going to play out in Batman v Superman. Maybe he'll feel more guilty, but from what I've seen in the trailer, it don't look like he's showing any guilt at all. So we'll have to wait and see the movie to see if he shows any guilt. I think they should, because, you know, Superman killing somebody, that haunts him, because, you know, he don't like killing. Well, but then again, Zack Snyder did make this. If you've seen Watchmen, you've seen how many freaking pedestrians got killed for no reason by superheroes. But, yeah, overall, I like Man of Steel. I don't know why a lot of people criticize it. Yeah, there was a lot of holes in the movie. I'm not going to say there weren't holes. I'm not going to say there weren't flaws. I'm not going to say, you know, the movie was, you know, crisp and, you know, completely flawless. But I liked the movie. I liked it for what it was. Man of Steel, to me, is a good movie. I know there's people that like it and people that don't like it, but, you know. Alright, next up, this ain't really a movie. It's a documentary about a movie that was going to be made, which was called The Death of Superman, Superman Lives, Jon Snepps. You ever watch, you know, Collider or, you know, a lot, or Snows or some other channels he does. He did this documentary, and, you know, they're talking about they got Kevin Smith on there, Tim Burton, a bunch of people that worked on the Batman movie with Tim Burton, Barbara Streisand's ex-husband or whatnot, who was a former hairdresser. And, you know, pretty much it starts out with Kevin Smith talking about how he was called to, you know, produce or help write a Superman movie, and he was like talking to the head guy, John, whatever, I can't remember his last name, but John something, and pretty much the guy was telling Kevin Smith, well, look, here's what I want. I don't want Superman flying. I don't want him in pajama or the Superman suit or whatnot and all that. Although the guy tried to deny that he said that, but pay attention to a lot of what they said in the documentary. It seemed like what Kevin Smith was saying was right. And then they asked him who, and then like Kevin Smith wrote down, because he said he had read the Death of Superman comic, and he wanted to implement things from the comic book, but the guy didn't agree with it. You know, a lot of the things. There were certain things he said he would keep. One of them was something to do with a freaking spider, or, you know, a Thanagarian snare piece, as he kept calling it. they talked to Kevin Smith about, what do you want? Who do you think should produce this or direct it or whatnot? He said Tim Burton, and he said, little did I know I was writing your effing fired, fat boy, which was pretty funny line. But then we get into talking to hearing from Tim Burton and them a lot in the movie, and Tim Burton talking about he wanted to do it because it was a challenge, because he was good at doing stuff that had to do with darkness, like Batman movies, like the first couple of Batman movies, which were the best out of that whole freaking first saga. The Dark Knight trilogy was a thing of its own, but the first two out of the Tim Burton ones was the best. Once it got taken over by someone else, Batman Forever was not that great. Batman and Robin, oh god, don't get us started on that movie. And they're just talking. There was even a guy that was doing the writing for, I guess he was working on The Matrix, but he turned down The Matrix to do a Superman movie, which was probably stupid of him, because look what happened there, which I'll get to in a few. But they were talking about how they want Kevin Spacey to be Lex Luthor. That's why I said he finally had to play Lex Luthor, because the plan was for him to play Lex Luthor in the Tim Burton one. Then the plan was for Christopher Walken to play Brainiac. And I would have loved to see Brainiac as Superman movie. I'm saying this new saga they got now, which is the Man of Steel saga, we got to see Brainiac. Darkseid, Brainiac. We're already going to get Doomsday in Batman v Superman. There might be an appearance by Darkseid in Batman v Superman. Have to wait until we see the movie. But, and pretty much the whole thing was everybody talking about how much, Tim Burton talked about how he couldn't stand working with that John guy. He had to leave, go out of the country or something to talk, because he couldn't work with him because the guy was, a prick or whatnot. And pretty much they were talking about they wanted, Lois Lane to be played by Sandra Bullock, which she refused, which makes no sense to me, because what was Sandra Bullock doing aside from that? The only thing she did in the 90s that was any good was freaking Speed. I mean, I liked her in Demolition Man, but, it wasn't, and, Demolition Man is one of my favorite Stallone movies, and I don't know why she would turn it down. I mean, heck, it might have made her career even better, made her got her more of a bigger fan base, but she turned it down. Nicolas Cage was going to play Superman, and I can imagine seeing Nicolas Cage play Superman. I think it might have worked, maybe, as long as he wasn't doing stuff like, grabbing a freaking coral girl's butt and going, ah. But, grab Lois Lane's butt, ah. But, I think the movie could have worked. Might have been, it might have surprised some people. I'll just say the movie would have been interesting. I'm not going to say it was going to be good. I'm not going to say it was going to be bad. Some of the ideas they had for it were good. I think one of the major problems, they spent a lot of money on it with the cast, the writers, the freaking production they went through with the costumes and all that. And I think it could have been interesting. And I would have loved to have seen that. I definitely would have loved to have seen it more to Superman Returns. But, and I've been calling for Brainiac for quite a while for Superman movies. And Darkseid. I haven't got neither one of them yet. I might get both of them in this next trilogy, but, but overall, Superman Returns, I'll give it 2 out of 5. Man of Steel, I'll give it 3 out of 5 because it did have a lot of holes. And the Jon Schnepp Superman Lives, the Death of Superman documentary, I'll give it 5 out of 5 because that was a great documentary. It's like one of my favorite documentaries I've watched in a while. But that'll do it for this video. Got a topic video tomorrow, Roundtable Thursday. Please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe. Follow me on my Facebook fan page, Mr. Hornsby 83 Topics. Follow me at Twitter at Mr. Hornsby83. And till tomorrow night, peace out.